Have you ever felt like something inside of you is waking up, emerging? Like you could feel something. It's like a cocoon. You don't know what it is. Maybe you've been experiencing strange synchronicities, maybe intense dreams, or heightened sensitivity to the world around you. Things are changing and you can feel it. These could all be signs that your spiritual gifts are emerging and blossoming. Spiritual gifts don't necessarily appear in like this big dramatic fashion. More often they start as subtle shifts, intuition, smells, sight, sound. You start to notice things in a different way. These are gentle nudges from the universe. They're urging you to pay more attention. But again, society teaches us to dismiss these things, and I'm asking you to pay more attention. One of the first signs your spiritual gifts are starting to emerge is heightened sensitivity, which in our society can also lead to anger, rage, because we don't learn how to deal with it, and there's a lot going on in our world. Part of that sensitivity is being able to embrace things in a new way, like finding the beauty in the world around you. This isn't just sensitivity emotionally, it's also energetically. Do you find yourself reacting not only to certain people, but to certain places? This happens because your intuition is starting to heighten. It's starting to become more aware. You're starting to pay attention. What's happening is you're becoming attuned to those multiple layers of our universe and tapping in to the unseen. Another major sign is your inner knowing, which can't be explained logically, and this is one that people really struggle with. I did too, because I wanted it to make logical sense, and I thought it for a long time. Do you sense what people are going to say before they say it? Do you feel drawn to certain topics, to certain people, to certain places? And then you have insights and you have ideas about these things that turn out to be true. This is your intuition strength. The more you lean into it, the more you're cultivating your intuition to guide you deeper and deeper into exploring and blossoming it. This is access of wisdom that's beyond your conscious mind. It's your direct connection to your higher self and to intelligent infinity. You may also be noticing much more synchronicities where things are happening and you're like, this is way beyond just a coincidence. So it's meaningful things that are happening that are far beyond coincidence. Seeing repeating numbers, seeing the same like animal signs. One for me was owls for a long time. I would see owls in all these different places. Another can be messages that repeat themselves, or having dreams that you have a dream and then it plays out in real life. The more you pay attention to these synchronicities, the more you allow them to come into your life and allow them to happen, and that's part of the blossoming experience. On a deeper level, when your spiritual gifts are emerging, a lot of people feel a sense of restlessness, and in the corporate world, it can feel like burnout. You want more, and there's this dissatisfaction with your life, and perhaps you keep chasing the same thing over and over. For me, I kept going to job, thinking the next one will be the thing, the next one will be like the alignment, what will make me happy. And the thing is, we keep chasing the same things because we don't know any better. That's where this horse is trying to help you figure out, like, here's something else, not to chase, but to experience and to witness and to allow to come into your life. If you feel called to something greater, you asking the question about what is the purpose of life? Like, what is my purpose? What is my soul here for? That's the universe nudging you gently to keep listening because it wants you to step into your true purpose. On the other side of this is you're going to start to feel disconnected from those old patterns. You're going to look at society and think like, this is chaos. This is crazy. Like, what are these people doing? You're going to start to realize that there's this cage that you're in, and you're realizing that everybody's in this cage, and you're like, I don't want to be here in this cage anymore. Like, this is crazy. Relationships that once felt comfortable and safe might start to feel kind of like they just don't work anymore. You might lose interest in things that used to feel really important to you. As your spiritual gifts awaken, your energy begins to shift in dramatic ways, probably more than you ever have experienced in your life before. You're going to find yourself outgrowing things, outgrowing situations, outgrowing people, places, things. And this can be confusing and lonely at first. Trust me, when I went through it, it was deeply, deeply lonely, especially because I had a history of trauma. I actually went no contact with my family for 2 years because I had gotten to the place where I'm like, I need to heal. And they felt like anchors. And I don't mean that in a negative sense, but there were so many anchors that I was holding on to, and the toxic patterns that they were bringing into my life, and I couldn't cope with it. I needed space. I needed space to heal. So all of these things just felt deeply misaligned. It can take some time, depending on where you're at in your life, to be able to peel off those layers to get to your authentic self. All of this is making room for a new chapter, and I promise on the other side of it, it's absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. Finally, there's some physical signs. That means that your spiritual gifts are emerging. Some of them can be tingling, like tingling hands. I get tingling in my head, my crown chakra. Could be pressure in your third eye, or sudden waves of emotion, like even really strong, intense feelings of joy and happiness, or just walking outside and feeling the sun, and you just feel like the divine has just kind of washed over you. These sensations indicate that your energy field is expanding to connect with the higher energy fields that we can connect with. If any of this sounds familiar, it's not a coincidence, I promise. Your gifts are calling you to notice them. And again, I know that there's this logical part of us that wants wants to fight against it and say, that's just my imagination. I'm making that up. I promise, the more that you can lean into it and trust, the more your gifts will emerge. Someone said to me one time that it really helped me. She said, what if just for a moment you trust that that is a sign and you let go of the doubt? What if you just trust for a moment? And every time I got a sign or I felt like my spirit guides were talking to me, I leaned into that and I thought to myself, okay, what if this is true? And I just let that be. And I started to grow that and cultivate that. And that is part of what really helped me embrace my spiritual gifts.